You are all welcome to tonight's online International Leadership Summit. Yes, you are all welcome. Joseph from Kenya, Joyce from Ghana, Reverend Asari from Ghana, Reverend Frida from Kumasi, Ghana, Anthony from Ghana. We have other people joining from other countries, from Victor from Kenya, yeah, Ebenezer from Ghana, Jennifer from London, yeah, Patience from Ghana, Reverend Abrahams from Ghana. God bless you guys for joining. God bless you for joining. God bless you for joining. We are starting in the next 1 minute. We are starting in the next 1 minute. God bless you guys. God bless you guys. God bless you guys. God bless you guys. And so tonight we will be looking at the first chapter. This is a 3 days program. And so tonight we'll be looking at the first subject, the first topic, which is understanding God's process of building leaders. Understanding God's process of building leaders. Leadership from God's perspective is not accidental. That is what we need to understand. Nobody becomes a leader by an accident. Nobody becomes a leader because he or she wants to. But God follows a divine blueprint in raising leaders. There is always a process. There's always a blueprint in raising leaders. God is the one who created everybody, and he is the one who gave the ability to lead and the ability for everybody to be leaders in their own capacity. I don't know the capacity at which you are leading. Some of you are leaders in churches. Some of you are leaders in politics. Some of you are leaders in business, at home. But you need to understand that it is God who sets leaders. It is God who makes leaders. It is God who calls leaders. And it is a great privilege for God to call you to become a leader. When you have the opportunity to lead other people, it is a great privilege. But we need to understand that the Creator has his own process of building leaders. God has his own blueprint for which leadership must emulate, for which leadership must follow. And so God himself follows a divine blueprint in raising leaders who will influence nations and generations. When God makes you a leader, you are a leader for nations, you are a leader for your society, you are a leader for your generation, because your generations after you must be inspired by your leadership. Unlike the world system that often elevates people by talent or by politics or influence, God builds his leaders through a process. He builds them through character formation and for a purpose. So there are a lot of biblical examples of global leaders that until today, their names bring relevance. They've had relevance in every area of their life. One of them is Joseph. Joseph, who transitioned from a prison to a palace. You know, Joseph's life demonstrates God's process of shaping a leader through test of character, through betrayal, and through faithfulness. So when you look at Genesis chapter 41, verse 39 to 40, the Bible says that Pharaoh said unto Joseph, for as much as God has showed thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art. Thou shalt be over my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled. So for Joseph to get to this level where he will become a leader over Pharaoh's household, over his kingdom, it means that he had already gone through tests. He had already gone through character formation. He had already gone through a process for him to have the capacity and the tenacity to be able to occupy that position. So one thing you need to understand from this is that Joseph went from becoming a dreaming shepherd to become a prime minister of Egypt. He went from becoming a shepherd. Kindly turn off your audio. Everybody mute yourself now quickly. Everybody mute yourself. So Joseph went from dreaming shepherd boy to become a prime minister of Egypt, proving that global leadership is birthed through endurance, through forgiveness and wisdom. So you must go through a process to be able to qualify or to be able to build the character formation, to lead a global front and to lead people on a global front. You must have gone through a process. We can also look at Daniel in the Bible, whose leadership was in a foreign land. So you don't need to become a leader only in your area, only in your society, but you can become a leader even on a foreign land. So leaders are not only built for where they come from, but they are built to other places. They are built for other generations. They are built for other nations. They are built for other kingdoms. They are built to lead people from all over. So Daniel exemplified in the integrity and uncompromising faith in Babylon, influencing kings and shaping policies. This is a type of leadership that speaks to people in high places. This is a type of leadership that speaks to presidents, that speaks to kings, that speaks to policies. They are the type of leaders that change policies. Their words and their conduct becomes policies. They are the people who form policies. They draft policies. The Daniel type of leader is a leader for nations, and they can strive everywhere, even on foreign land. So godly leaders can rise and influence even in hostile or ungodly environment when they maintain integrity and an excellent spirit. So you will need integrity and you will need an excellent spirit as a leader. These are some of the blueprints of leadership: integrity and excellent spirit. Integrity and excellent spirit. We can also look at Esther, who rose up for strategic leadership, for deliverance. So God raised Esther as a queen, not for luxury, but for divine assignment. So leadership is for purpose. Leadership is for timing. Leadership is for service to other people. You have not been called for yourself. You have been called for other people. And you have been called for a set time. You have also been called for a divine purpose. Are you hearing me, somebody? So Esther risked her life to save her people, showing that true leadership is sacrificial. Every leader must be ready to sacrifice, because leadership is sacrificial. Leadership is sacrificial. I want you to type, leadership is sacrificial. And you are a leader not for yourself, you are a leader for other people. Are you hearing me, somebody? And so when we also look at David in the Bible, David was a shepherd king. And David's leadership journey began in obscurity while tending to sheep. God trained him with lions and bears before facing Goliath. So sometimes the things you are going through is a preparation for what you are going to lord over. The trainings you have been through, the problems, the challenges you have been through is just a preparation for a great position, for a great thing you are about to lead, for a great thing you are about to benefit. It is a preparation for God to accelerate you to another level of your life. So every process you go through, see it like a training. Every situation, every problem, see it like a training, because God is in the process of training people for greater impact. What you have not mastered, you cannot help other people with it. What you have not experienced, you cannot encourage anybody who is going through the same thing. What you don't know anything about, you can't talk about it. So whatever you are going through in your life as a leader, it is to prepare you to occupy a high position that you will become effective in. If God cannot trust you with your situation, he cannot trust you with other people's situation. You must endure hardship. You must endure challenges. You must have the wisdom to solve your own challenges, your own problems, so that you can solve other people's challenges. Someone will ask, does it mean that every leader is able to solve his own problem? Not entirely so. But when you build capacity, there is nothing you can handle. There's nothing you cannot handle, sorry. And so everybody must embrace the process, the blueprint of leadership, the process of character formation, the process where you build your purpose, where you discover your purpose, where you get to know who you are, where you get to know where you are going, your assignment, and what you are called to do on this earth. There are a lot of people who do not know who they are. There are a lot of people who do not know their purpose. There are a lot of people who don't know their assignment. So if you don't know your assignment, how will you be able to execute your assignment? It will become very difficult. It will become very difficult. It will become very difficult. So we can also look at Paul in the Bible. Bible records that Paul was an apostle to nations. He was a leader called for nations. So Paul became a global leader in the early church, carrying the gospel to nations despite the persecutions. Some of us are waiting to be ready before we start. You got to start now. Some of you are ready to receive something before you move. You have to move now. So despite there was a lot of persecution, he was moving from nation to nation, spreading the gospel. So leadership is not a position. It is a process. Leadership is not a position. It is what? A process. Many people think that leadership is all about position. So when we see somebody who has a position in parliament, in business, we assume that the person is automatically a leader, but that is not it. Not everybody in position are leaders. There are a lot of people in high positions who are not leaders. They are managers or they are caretakers. They do not carry the ability to lead other people. Instead of inspiring people, they are manipulating people. So that is not leadership. Leadership is not manipulation. Leadership is inspiration. Leading people for a common goal. And so leadership is not the position you carry. I know some of you here may have a lot of positions or high position, and you think that it makes you automatically become a leader. No, sir, no, ma. You are not a leader because you are in a high position. If our nations have true leaders, our nations will not be struggling as it is. If our businesses, companies have true leaders, our nations, our companies will not be struggling as it is. Leadership is not for self. Leadership is for others. It's building other people, seeking other people's life first. It's making sure that other people fulfill their assignment, their purpose. It's making sure that you put the needs of other people first before yours comes. And so leadership is not a position. Leadership is a process. You don't become a leader overnight. You build yourself to become a leader. So the world often defines leadership as a title, as an office, or a rank. But in God's kingdom, leadership is a process of formation. Leadership is a process of formation. Even in Matthew chapter 23, verse 11, it says that, but he that is greatest among you shall be your servant, meaning to say that if you are a leader, you must serve. You must serve. If you don't know how to serve, you cannot lead. If you don't know how to serve, you cannot lead anybody. You must know how to serve yourself, and you must know how to serve other people. A leader is not a lord over people. A leader is not a lord over people. A leader is a servant. He serves other people. He makes sure that other people are good. Other people are fed for. Other people are doing well. He seeks the concerns of other people. He makes sure that people around him are okay. That is the spirit of leadership. So in Psalm 75, verse 6 and 7, the Bible says that for promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south. But God is a judge. He put down one and set up another. So the position you are having as a leader, it does not mean that you are going to be in that position forever. That is what you need to have in mind. You are not going to be in that position forever. Your works and the results you produce is what will determine that you will last in leadership. Some of you are leaders at home, leaders in business, leaders in church, leaders in politics, and in so many aspects of life. The fact that you are in that position does not mean that you will be in that position forever as a leader. You must understand that your results and your impact is what will let you remain in that position. What you do to better the lives of people who follow you, who you work with, at your workplace, in your church, at home, is what will make you be relevant. So relevance is not gained by money. Relevance is not gained by connections. Relevance is gained by result and impact. Who are you impacting? Who are you blessing? Who is benefiting from connecting with you? You need to understand that people do not come to you only because of how you look, but because of the value you can bring in their life. So do not think that because you are in a high position, you are a lord over people. You have been strategically placed there to be able to cause an impact in somebody's life. Your life depends on somebody in a high position. That is the same way for your life. Somebody's life depends on you. Someone sitting somewhere looks up to you. And so every opportunity that you get, you must not forget your place as a leader. You must lead with an agency that God can either lift you or God can bring you down. And it will depend on your results, your character, your behavior, your humility, and everything that you are doing in that position. So leadership begins with servanthood. It begins with faithfulness. Leadership begins with humility. And leadership begins with obedience. Because a crown without a cross is not God's design. If Jesus Christ refused to go on the cross, he wouldn't have been crowned. So every great leader in scripture went through a process. Joseph went through the pit. David went through the wilderness. Moses had his own 40 years in the Midian. And Paul had his years of preparation after conversion. So you need to understand that there's a process. Everybody must go through a process. You cannot skip process. You cannot skip what God wants to do with your life. Is somebody being blessed? Is somebody being blessed? If you are being blessed, say, I'm blessed. If you are blessed, say, I am blessed. Because I believe that there are a lot of people here who carry the potentials to lead, but the character and the tenacity is what you need to build. Your tenacity, your character formation, your behavior, your mindset, how you perceive things, how you treat human beings, how you live with people, how you talk to people. It is very crucial and essential to the success of your leadership journey. You cannot become a good leader if you don't know how to talk to people. You cannot become a good leader if you do not respect people. You cannot become a good leader if you do not regard the little things. You cannot become a good leader if you do not think about other people. Anybody who thinks about himself and does not think about other people, you can't lead people. You cannot lead people. And so you need to understand that to become a global leader, you must have the mindset of other people, the mindset to help other people, the mindset to solve problems. You must become a solution bringer. A solution bringer. But to become a solution bringer, there are principles of preparations. There are principles of preparations before you will manifest. So I want you to understand that there are principles of preparation before manifestation. Before you can become that great leader, there are preparations you need to go through. And life is governed by principles, not emotions. Life is governed by principles, not emotions. You can't just get up and say, because you want this, you are going to do it. There are principles to everything in life. And so before you manifest your leadership height, you must go through preparations. So God never entrusts global leadership to unprepared vessels. God never entrusts global leadership to unprepared vessels. He invests time in shaping character. Some of you are at the stage of character formation. God is helping you to know how to relate with people. Some of you, if we make you become the president of Ghana for one day, my God, we are finished. We are finished. Some of you, if we make you become a minister in Kenya, we are finished. I'm telling you. In South Africa, if we make you become an MP, we are finished. So God takes his time to build you up. There are things God needs to remove from your life. There are things he needs to add. There's always a preparation. Always a preparation. Always a preparation. He invests time in shaping character, enlarging capacity, and testing faith. Testing faith, which is very important. So some of you are also in the stage where God is testing your faith. God is testing your faith. He wants to know that you love him even if you have position. Some of you, when you receive position, you will change. You will tell us you don't believe in God again. You will tell us even church, you can't attend church. There are many people, when they receive high position, they don't go to church again. They'll tell you they will join online, which is not bad, but they will tell you that they don't have time to go to church. But before they became great, they were the people who were chasing prophets, chasing pastors to pray for them. But now that they are in high position, even they cannot come to church anymore. So God must test your faith as a leader. You see, I am a Christian leader trainer. I don't want to just do secular, because I believe that there are a lot of people who call themselves leaders, but they are not godly. If God gives you the privilege to know what many of our African leaders do, you will be shocked. You will ask yourself, why would he go to church on Sunday and Monday he's doing this and that? So we need to raise godly and kingdom leaders who will occupy high positions in business, in ministry, in politics. So gathered here are not only pastors, gathered here are not only business people or only politicians, but there are a lot and diversity of leaders gathered here. So we need to bring you up. We need to help you to become godly leaders, leaders who always remember that the King of Kings is the one who set one up and bring one down. When you look at the Bible, there is no king who did well and did not have God by his side. Most of them even had prophets. Most of them had priests who would speak to them what God is saying for their leadership journey. And so everybody must go through the tests of faith, test of time, test of character, test to enlarge your capacity. Test to enlarge your capacity. So before public manifestation comes hidden preparation. There is always a hidden preparation. There is always a hidden preparation. And God tests in the little things before entrusting greater responsibilities to you. So even Joseph had to prove his faithfulness in Potiphar's house and prison before he was being trusted with Pharaoh's palace. If he had failed in Potiphar's house, he wouldn't have gone to Pharaoh's palace. And David also had to prove his faithfulness with sheep before ruling over a kingdom. So you see that David went to rescue one of his sheep from a lion, from a bear. If you have the capacity to deliver just one person, God can trust you with two people. If you have the capacity to manage and influence one person, impact one person's life, God can trust you with 10 people. If you cannot manage one person, God cannot trust you with 100 people. God cannot trust you with 100 people. So some of you must start checking your leadership traits at home, your leadership capacity, ability at home. Are you impacting the house, the family, your siblings, your children, your wife, your husband? Are you able to impact their life? If you cannot impact the life of the people you live with, you cannot impact other people's life. It becomes very difficult. Because even your family that you love so much, you cannot impact them. How much more people out there that you are not biologically connected to them? So they said charity begins at home. Love begins at home. I will say that leadership begins at home. And if you cannot lead yourself, you cannot lead other people. If you cannot lead yourself, you cannot lead other people. So God always brings hidden preparations before there is a manifestation. Before anybody will manifest to become a great leader, there are always hidden preparations, hidden preparations, hidden preparations, hidden preparations. So there is what we need to also understand, that every process must have a refining moment. So one of God's primary methods of making global leaders is the refining process. The refining process. Before gold will become gold, it has to go through the refining process. It has to be melted. So it has to go through the fire. They have to assay it. They have so many ways they take the gold through. And so every leader and every human being who has the leadership capacity must understand that you must go through a refining process. So just as gold is purified by fire, leaders are shaped through seasons of testing. So the testing is your refining process. The hiddenness is your refining process. Some of you are hidden now, and you being hidden is a time of your refining process. Maybe you have gifts, talent, potentials, and you are asking yourself, why have I been doing music for 10 years? Nobody is hearing about me. Why have I been playing football for 20 years? I've not reached anywhere. Why have I been doing this? I've been doing ministry for many years now. I've not achieved anything. Sometimes it is not the devil. Sometimes God is hiding you for a reason. He's preparing you for a comeback. He's preparing you to become a vessel for greater use. He's preparing you so that you will be able to effect and impact your generation. So don't be so worried about you being hidden. It's not every hidden situation that is the devil who is orchestrating it. Sometimes it is God who wants you to be prepared for what he has called you to do. And sometimes God will also take you through a process of brokenness. It may not be God, it may be people. They will break your heart, though, in business, in relationship, so many ways, in ministry, you can be broken. You can be broken. But even in that brokenness, God has a way for you. God has a way. He will hide you. He will hide you. When you reach a place of betrayal, a place of brokenness, God will hide you, prepare you. God will make sure that you are ready for the next level of your life. So brokenness before they can handle the weight of destiny. The weight of destiny upon your life can only be handled if you have survived and endured the process. And how many of you understand that maturity is also determined by the experiences you have endured, by the challenges you have endured, the process you have gone through? If you have not gone through a process, it will be difficult for you to mature. So growth comes from learning through challenges. Growth comes from making mistakes. So when you make mistake as a leader, it is not a sign that you are weak. It is a sign that you are improving. Mistakes do not come because you are weak. Mistakes are made because you are in a learning process. So do not quit your learning process. Continue learning through your mistake. It's not something that you should be ashamed of, that you've made a mistake, you are going to kill yourself, you are giving up. No. Leaders don't quit. Leaders prepare themselves to soar high. Leaders prepare themselves to become better. Leaders go through the process to make a difference, because the weight of your destiny, you will need a certain capacity to be able to function. If you have been called to become a president, you cannot become a president overnight. You cannot become a minister overnight. You cannot become a bishop overnight. By the grace of God, I'm a bishop. I didn't become a bishop overnight. It took years of preparation, challenges, problems, gone through a lot before we got to where we are. And so you need to understand that which you have not endured, you will not have the capacity and the tenacity to be able to pursue. So there is somebody who is watching me right now, listening to me right now, and you have a great destiny ahead of you. But right now, things are not moving. Things are stagnant. Things are hard for you. This is the time to prepare for what God is about to do for you as a leader. Never give up in this season, because this season will soon be over. The wilderness will soon be over, because God is preparing you for something great. He's bringing you on a global platform that you've never thought of, you've never imagined. He's about to lift you up high above your situations, above your problems, above your challenges. And this is a time, a season for preparation. This is a season for character formation. This is a season to build up momentum, to build up your character, to build up your mindset. There are a lot of people who have wrong mindset for leadership. Many people think that you are given a position to lead people so that you can extort from them. That is not leadership. You have not been given an opportunity to lead people to make wealth for yourself, to make money for yourself. You have been called as a leader to be able to impact life, to be able to help people fulfill destiny, to be able to change the world. Because this world needs true leaders, needs selfless leaders, needs servant leaders, People who would think about the nation, people who would think about the people. Just yesterday, I was just thinking about something. I was like, if the president of any nation was elected for the people and to lead the people, why is it difficult for the president to allow any citizen to meet him? Were you not put there for the people? Were you not put there because you need to care for the people? I understand that there are a lot of people who may become a threat to the president, and so there are a lot of protocol security around. But my question is that how many presidents do you see them on the street talking to citizens? How many leaders do you see them in restaurants eating with citizens, even with bodyguards? If you are thinking about security, there should be security around. But we find out that they only have time for people in high positions with money, who are millionaires, billionaires, who want to invest in. Leadership is not just about money. It's not just about raising money for the nation or for the people. It's about impacting individual lives. Imagine a president comes up to you and gives you hope, gives you an encouragement. It can carry you for many, many years. Oh, we'll be like, oh, this president, I met him yesterday. He spoke to me, he encouraged me. It is going to live with you forever. And there are some of you who are pastors and you are doing very well, but you are using your pastoral authority to lord over your members, over younger pastors. That is not ministry, sir. You are not becoming the Christ-like leader. The Christ-like leader does not lord over members, over younger pastors. I have seen pastors who lord over members, over junior pastors, talk to them anyhow. I'm not here to talk bad about any pastor, but I'm telling you, that is not true leadership. A true leadership respects the people who follow him. They impact them. They inspire them. How can you inspire somebody when you speak ill of the person? How can you inspire somebody when you don't respect the person? I'm asking a question. If you're a leader and you don't respect the people who follow you, the people you work with in your business, as a CEO, as a company owner, if you don't respect the staff, the people who work for you, how do you think you are going to impact their life? It's impossible. It's impossible, my brothers and my sisters. So you need to understand that leadership must go through a process of refinement. Refinement. So number one, if you want to write it down, wilderness and hidden seasons. So I'm actually teaching you from my book, which will be available on Wednesday. My book will be available on Wednesday. My ebook will be available on Wednesday. So you can have a copy after Wednesday. Okay. So number one, wilderness and hidden seasons. So when we look at David, we understand that he was in the wilderness, in caves. So David was an anointed king, yet he spent years running from Saul and hiding in caves. And these caves were God's classroom for developing resilience on him and leadership skills. So God used that situation to teach him. God used that situation to train him. Though he was in caves, but God was using that situation to do what? To train him, to train his leadership skills. You understand? So the cave season teaches dependency on God. The cave season. So there is what we call the cave season. It teaches what? Dependency on God. It teaches what? Endurance. It also teaches the ability to lead people in tough times. If you have not experienced hunger before, how can you lead poor people? If you have not experienced hardship before, how can you understand people who are in hard situations? You can't. In Ghana, we had a president who said he has never bothered Trotro before, said certain things. And we also, if you have not experienced what the people experience, you cannot lead the people well. You will not become an effective leader if you have not endured the process. So we have a season called the Moses season in the wilderness. So before leading Israel out of Egypt, Moses spent 40 years in Midian as a shepherd. Imagine spending 40 years just to prepare yourself to go and deliver people. Some of you only have 1 year training and you are crying. Only 1 year training you need to go under. Some of you need to look for a mentor to mentor you for 4 years, 5 years. Some of you need training. If you're a pastor, no matter how high you are, even myself as a bishop, I'm still under training. So you are not bigger than any form of process or training. So there is a wilderness that you go through where God himself begins to school you, begins to help you to understand your journey, to train you, to build capacity. So this hidden season transformed Moses from a self-reliant prince to a humble servant of God. Oh, by the time God is done with you, I'm telling you, you will become a different person altogether. Just allow God to deal with you. Just allow God to bring you to a place of greatness. Just allow God to build you up, to build your character, to help your faith to become stronger. Just allow God to help you become a better leader. When you allow God, God will make your life beautiful as a leader. Can you imagine all the leaders who are God-fearing around the world, how they are doing very well? Many people may not like them, but they are doing well. And there is nothing you can do to bring them down, because God is the one who put them there. God is the one who trusted the nation to them. God is the one who trusted that business to them. God is the one who trusted that ministry to them. Can you imagine a lot of struggles pastors go through in planting churches, in building churches, in pastoring? We go through a lot, but we never give up. We never go down. We go through attacks. So many things happen to pastors, but they never go down. Why? It is God who placed them there. They didn't place themselves there. So true leader is positioned by God. A true leader is positioned by God. And God will only trust you to position you somewhere when he has taken you through a process. And you must endure that process. You must endure that process. You must endure. Say, I will endure that process. I will endure the leadership process. I will endure the leadership process. God often hires leaders to strip them of pride and prepare them for divine assignment. There are some of us, we've been through the process where God has to strip us of pride and to be able to prepare us for our assignment. If you come to me now and you are talking about anything, what concerns me is assignment or purpose. I don't seek for self. I've had a lot of TV stations, radio stations come to me. They want to interview me. I'm like, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. If it is about talking about purpose, if it's about talking about leadership, it's about raising other people, if it's about preaching, if it's about business, then I'm ready to talk. But if it is about myself, you want to interview me to know about me, to know about my family, to know about where I grew up from, I'm not ready. I don't want anybody to know about me. I want people to discover God, and I want people to fulfill the assignment. That is all I need. That is all I need. And God must bring you to that place where it is not about you, it is about others. I went to a radio station and they asked me, Dr. Father Abraham, how many awards have you won? I said, none. By then, I have not yet won any award, but by the grace of God, I've won an award after that. But by then, I have not won any award. So I said, none. And they said, oh, why? We know how big you are. You should have award by now. I said, I'm not interested in awards. I'm actually not looking for any award. But I have been behind people who have received awards, and that is what I want. So I may not have gotten award, but there are people who received awards because of me. And that is my fulfillment. My fulfillment is to see other people do well. My fulfillment is to see other people succeed. That is true leadership. A true leader would want other people to do well. We have a lot of leaders, they want to be the boss. They want to be the people who are, enjoying everything. They don't care about other people. It's just about themselves. My brother, that is not a trait of a leader. That is not a sign of a leader. That is a manipulator. That is somebody building his own kingdom, his own agenda. That is somebody building his own empire. So we need to understand, not everybody who have followers is a leader. So there's difference between fans and followers. You cannot manipulate followers and they will stay. They won't stay. You can have fans, like a musician. You have so many fans. But to lead them will take a leadership character, a leadership ability, a leadership capability. And you need to become a leader to lead other people. So the cave season teaches dependency of God, just as I said. Now, number 2, let's look at trials, tests, training as divine tools for maturity. So to mature as a leader, there are tools that will help you to mature. Number 1 is what? Trials. Number 2 is tests. Number 3, training. Trials, tests, and training are tools for maturity. What you have not endured, you cannot master it. You cannot become a good master of something you cannot endure. So God refines his leaders through trials, through tests and training. And this experience builds strength, faith, and endurance. A lot of people may be going through some trials, may be going through some tough times, some tests, and you may be thinking that it is a punishment or something. No, trials are not punishment. They are training grounds where God builds leaders. Trials are not punishment. Trials are God's grounds. They are training grounds where God builds a leader's spiritual muscles. Teach them faith, teach them humility, and teach them perseverance. So God uses trials to teach people. Am I saying that it's God who brings trials in people's lives? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that even in your trials, even in your situation, God capitalized on it and he sees it as a training platform to bring resilience, to build your muscles, your spiritual muscles, to build your faith, to build your humility, to build up your character. So it is a tool in the house of God. Because he said, for whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth. You understand? So God always trains people he prepares for a great assignment. You want to occupy a great position, but you don't want to go through the process. It will be difficult. it will be very difficult. It will be very, very difficult. Someone said, God bless you, Father. A true leader must be mentored. Yes, every true leader must be mentored. Every true leader must have a mentor. I have mentors. I have mentors, not only one mentor. I have mentors. And so you need to be mentored. Some of you, I'm your mentor. I need to mentor you. Some of you, other great mentors are your mentors. You need to look for them to mentor you. So your leadership journey can only become stronger and better by what you have learned, what you have endured, the trials and the process you have gone through. Number 3, why brokenness precedes greatness. Why brokenness precedes greatness. So before God uses a person mightily, he first breaks them of self-dependency. He breaks them of pride. He breaks them of personal ambition. So we have a lot of people occupying positions with personal ambition. There are some people, I know a politician who was nothing, was not having any money, and he wanted to become an MP. And when I discovered, I was one of the key people who helped him to run for office. And I later discovered that the mindset, the ambition he had to occupy that position was a personal one. He was not thinking about anybody. It was just him. He wanted to amass wealth. He wanted to get money, get connections, build things, do so many great things for himself, not for the people. He even promised the people that if you vote for me and I win, I'm going to buy phone for everybody, gave people codes to use to claim their phones. After he won election, they didn't find him. So you can see that people have their personal ambition. And if God is going to trust you with a global leadership opportunity, then he must strip you. He must break you to make you become dependent on him, to remove self and personal ambition from you, to remove pride from you, to remove pride from you. So some of you may have been in a position or in a situation where God is trying to strip you from pride. Embrace it all. It will help you. There is no great leader who is proud, because pride is one of the hindrance to great leadership. So brokenness is no weakness. Brokenness is not what? Weakness. It is God's way of emptying us of self so he can fill us with his strength. Brokenness is not weakness. It is God's way of emptying us of self. Self, like you, always is you. God will use this tool to empty you of yourself so he can fill you with his strength. So leaders who are not broken risk using leadership for their self-glory instead of God's glory. They always try to use leadership for their self-glory instead of God's glory. So what did I say? Your hidden season is not wasted. It is a preparation. Your trials are your divine tools. Your trials are your divine tools to shape your destiny. And brokenness ensures that your leadership reflects God's glory, not self-promotion. Not self-promotion. Not self-promotion. There is a question you should ask yourself. And that question is, what season of refining am I currently in? And how is God shaping me through it? Some of you are in that season of your life. And God is shaping you. Some of you are losing things in your life because God does not want you to depend on the things you have. God wants you to depend on him. Some of you are losing certain friends in your life. And it is God who is removing such friends so that you can be able to focus on your assignment. There are types of people who come into your life. Some people come into your life for a season. Some people come into your life for a reason. Some people come into your life for a purpose. So you must know the people God has assigned to be in your life for your purpose to manifest. For your purpose to do what? To manifest. Now let's look at the last one, and then we'll call it a day. I'll ask a few questions, or if anybody have any questions to ask, you will ask after this one. Then tomorrow we'll meet again. So the next one is God's character building curriculum. God's character building curriculum. When God builds leaders, he prioritizes character before charisma. When God is building leaders, he always prioritizes character before charisma, integrity before influence, and faithfulness before fruitfulness. Before you become fruitful, you must be faithful. And before you become influential, you must become a man of integrity. And before your talent or your charisma will manifest, you must become a man of a good character. So leadership in the kingdom is not first about skill, but it's about character that reflects Christ. Some of you, we can't look at you and say, you are a Christian. Some of you will ask ourselves, is he really a Christian? Is she really a Christian? So number one, integrity is the foundation of leadership. Number one, integrity is the foundation of leadership. Integrity means wholeness. Integrity means wholeness. It means honesty and consistency in private and public life. Integrity means wholeness. It means honesty. It means consistency in private and public life. There are leaders whose character in private is different from that of the public. In public, you see them so nice, but in the house, they are not nice at all. So that is not integrity. A leader without integrity may rise temporarily, but they cannot sustain God-given influence. A leader without integrity may rise temporarily, but they cannot sustain God-given influence. That's why sometimes we see a wind of group of people or persons. They come into the system as a minister of God, or as a businessman, or as a politician, and they are making waves. In 1 year, we can't hear of them anymore. But there are certain people, they've been doing this for the past 10 years, the past 20 years, the past 40 years. Some of our fathers, my spiritual grandfather, Archbishop Nicholas Duncan William, said he has been doing this almost 50 years, 40 something years, 44 years, 45 years. And it just amazes me. If he does not have integrity, he will not still be relevant till today. A leader without integrity will not remain relevant. You will not be able to sustain the influence God has given you if you don't have integrity. If you don't have integrity. If you don't have integrity. So even Proverbs chapter 11 verse 3 says, the integrity of the upright shall guide them, but the perverseness of transgressors shall destroy them. So the integrity of a righteous man, of a leader, it will guide you. It will help you. It will help you to stay long. It will help you to impact people. The integrity you have, it will help you to sustain greatness. Many people are great because of integrity. Because integrity is the foundation of leadership. Integrity is the compass that keeps leaders aligned. Without integrity, leadership collapses under pressure. Without integrity, leadership collapses under pressure. I want you to type it. Without integrity, leadership collapses under pressure. Small pressure, you are giving up. Small pressure, you are resigning. Small pressure, oh my God. The people who normally give up, they are suspects.
Hello.
The people who normally give up, they are suspects. They are suspects. They are suspects. Oh my, oh my. My, oh my. The people who like to give up, they are what? They are suspects. 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 The people who like to give up, they are what? They are suspects. Ask yourself, are you a suspect? Those who give up quickly, they are suspects. So without integrity, leadership will collapse under pressure. Small pressure, you are giving up. Like some relationships. Small quarrel, the person will say, I don't want this relationship anymore. Oh, you must know what you want. And when you go for it, that is it. You see, some of you do not understand these things. That is why you give up early in business. You don't know that business is about risk. You don't give up because you are under pressure. As a leader, you work under pressure. That is why sometimes when we write our CV and we take it to companies for jobs, one of the key things we keep on writing is that I have the ability to work under pressure. Some of you don't understand that statement. You have the ability to work under pressure. And most of the time, your employer will employ you because he knows that you can work under pressure. So don't give up when you are under pressure. I wish you can tell your neighbor, don't give up when you are under pressure. Oh my God. So number two, humility and servanthood as prerequisite for exhortation. You need to get this book on Wednesday. I want everybody to get this book on Wednesday. Humility and servanthood as prerequisite for exhortation. So in the kingdom, the pathway to greatness is not self-promotion, but humility and service. The pathway to greatness is not self-promotion, but humility and what? Service. Humility and service. Humility and service. So servanthood is leadership in action. Servanthood is leadership in action. There are a lot of people who are leaders, but they don't act. They don't perform. They only occupy position. But the servant leader is somebody who is always active, always performing, always doing, always making things happen. So true leaders put the needs of others before themselves. So Jesus modeled servant leadership by washing his disciples' feet. God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. So these are lessons you need to learn from this. Number three. We are ending now in a few minutes. Number three, faith and obedience as divine currencies of leadership. Faith and obedience as divine currencies of leadership. Faith and obedience are the spiritual currencies that move leaders into God's promises. and sustain them in global assignment. Faith and obedience. A leader must always have faith, first of all, in God. There's no leader who became a leader, and it's not God who had permitted it. Even the bad leaders, it is because God permitted. Because God could have stopped it. God could have stopped it. And so, faith and obedience are the spiritual currencies that move leaders into God's promises and sustain them in global assignment. In global assignment. So what do we learn from this? Number one, that faith allows leaders to see beyond the present into God's possibilities. So a leader must have an eye for the future, an eye for possibilities. We always have something we say that the future you cannot picture, you can't feature it. So as a leader, you must have a clear vision of the possibilities of God, of the future from your present state. Though your present state may tell you something, you must be able to see beyond. And that is why Africa needs leaders who can see beyond now. Leaders who can see beyond now. Our nations need leaders. Our churches need leaders who can see beyond now. Look at someone like Bishop Oyedepo. They are great giants, leadership giants who can see beyond now. Look at businessmen. If I say I'll mention names, I'll mention too many. But there are a lot of businessmen building multi-billion-dollar companies, building branches everywhere. Look at KFC. Look at McDonald's. Even in Africa, you look at MTN. In many, many countries. So these are people who can see beyond where they are, beyond now, but they can see into the future, into possibilities. Into possibilities. Into possibilities. So obedience ensures alignment with God's timing and instructions. Obedience ensures alignment with God's timing and instructions. Now, in closing, I want us to keep these leadership lessons. Number one, skills may open doors, but only character keeps them open. Skills may open doors, but only character keeps them open. You can write it down. Skills may open doors, but only character keeps the doors open. Number two, true exaltation comes through humility and service. You'll only be exalted in humility and out of service. Number three, faith and obedience are non-negotiable for leaders who desire global impact. Faith and obedience are non-negotiable for leaders who desire global impact. For leaders who desire global impact. Then the question I want everybody to ask yourself, which of these three areas, integrity, humility, servanthood, or faith, obedience, do you need to strengthen most in your leadership journey? So I would like to take a few questions, about 5 questions, and then we'll call it a day. About 5 questions. If you have a question, just raise up your hand. I'll pick you up, and then I'll give you the opportunity to ask your question. We'll move to the next person. Anybody with a question? Anybody with a question? No question? Yeah, Victor, speak to me. What's your question, sir?
Hello. Hello, good afternoon, good evening.
Yes, how are you?
I'm doing good.
That is great.
And thank you very much for a very great insight in this lesson. My question that what happens after the 3 days? Would there be a certificate? And if yes, would there be some charges?
Okay. So this is a summit. It's not really a training program, so there wouldn't be a certificate. However, we normally have our leadership masterclass trainings, and those are the ones that we issue certificates. Sometimes it's online, and sometimes it's in person. So our next leadership masterclass is going to be in Kumasi in Ghana. So we issue them. But this is summit. This is a monthly summit. So we wouldn't be issuing certificate. However, there are manuals which I've written that they can be given out, and you get it. It's a book actually, but they are the manuals we'll be using on a monthly basis. So what we are learning today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, it's a whole book. It's a whole book that you can read later or immediately we are done. And the book will be available on Wednesday. So I just want everybody, you write, you follow. Wednesday, you just get a copy of the book, and it's just $5. So whichever country you are, Kenya, South Africa, Ghana, you just convert to your currency. You just get it for just $5. It's an ebook. So that is the manual. Everything I've taught you here is from the book. So you get it. So tomorrow I'll be teaching again from the book. Wednesday I'll be teaching again from the book. And you can have a copy of the book. But certificate for this summit, we will not issue out certificate for this summit unless our leadership conferences. We have annual global leadership conference. We issue certificate of participation. And then our masterclass trainings, we issue certificates. And then also, sometimes we also organize short courses, 3-month leadership course, 6-month leadership course, 6 weeks leadership course, and we also issue certificate. So just keep connected, and then you will receive details of anytime we have any of those programs. Thank you. Yes, Anthony, please speak with me.
Good evening once again, Dad, and everyone here.
Good evening.
God bless you so much for everything. I mean, we have learned a lot today, and to me, you mended my broken heart. So, Daddy, God bless you so much.
Amen.
Actually, my question is leadership and anger. You know, we are humans with feelings and emotions. So, is it weakness or is it wrong for a leader to have anger issues? I mean, you could see that some people are trying, you know, as leaders, it's good to be around them, but people that are much more closer to them feels the heat every day with regards to how they talk to people, how they react if certain things happen between them and other people. So is it weakness and is it wrong as a leader to have anger issues, or it's normal as humans with feelings and emotions, and even in the lives of pastors and ministers of God? Thank you, Dad.
Okay, that is great. That is a very important and a brilliant question. So anger in general, it's not a bad thing, but what you channel your anger is what makes it become either a good anger or a bad anger. All right. So it's natural of every human being to get angry with something or with somebody, but what you make out of your anger is what we need to really pay attention to. For example, there is no great leader who has not been angry with something. Every great leader, one way or the other, is angry with something. So when we talk about an anger where maybe you are provoked by somebody and then you begin to be violent and abusive, that is a weakness, and that is wrong, that is bad, you know. But an anger where maybe something wrong is going on, you are not happy about it, you feel so bad and you want to make sure that it is changed or it is stopped, that is a very good anger as a leader. So every leader that you know, every great leader you have ever known was angry with something. You understand? For example, one of the reasons why I discovered my assignment and my calling in the area of leadership is that anything that has to do with wrong or false leadership, anything that happens that is wrong with leadership, I get so angry. I get so angry. I discovered that what you are angry about, it means that you have been called to solve it, or you have been called to handle it. What makes you angry can help you discover your assignment. My anger is with leadership, and so one of my core mandates is to correct leadership around the world. Some people's anger may be, relationship, marriage, and so they focus on solving a lot of problems in relationship and marriage. Some people's anger may be maybe they were poor and poverty beats them too much. They say, oh my God, I need to make sure I make money, and I make sure that people make money so that they never become poor. Right there, the person has discovered his assignment. He's so angry at poverty that he wants to do something to eradicate poverty and help other people to also become financially free. That person just discovered their purpose, and that is anger for a situation. But an anger that will make you be abusive, that will make you to, threaten people, hurt people, that is not a good anger. For example, maybe a pastor getting angry and slapping church member, that is not a good anger. Or slapping associate pastor is not a good anger. Or maybe a husband or a wife getting angry, slapping the wife or the husband, that is not a good anger. It's a weakness, and you need to work on it. So every leader must work on your anger. It's not everything. You need to channel your anger towards what you are meant to fix, not towards people and situations. What you are meant to fix, that is not working. For me, I've realized that leadership is just not working around the world. And that is one of my greatest anger. I'm angry at leaders who are not leaders, but just see leadership as a tool to, build empires and manipulate people. And so that is why I'm correcting all these things. I believe that I've answered your question.
Thank you so much, Daddy. God bless you.
God bless you too. Any other question? Anyone else with a question? Darko, I want to ask a question. Okay, so if there's no question, then we are going to end here, and we'll come back tomorrow. We'll come back tomorrow for the part 2. And as I said, the book will be ready by Wednesday. By Wednesday, the book will be ready. However, in our organization, we give opportunity to people who want to bless us, who want to donate to the organization. You want to support the organization in any capacity. We give opportunity. So by the end of this program, if you want to give a donation, we will make our account, Momo account, available for you to donate. If you want to reach out to me today, tomorrow, Wednesday, you can reach out to me as well. I'll give you the account where you can donate something into the organization. It's a whole organization, and you will be blessed. I'll pray with you, pray for your business, pray for your ministry, pray for anything that you are doing. All right. So on Wednesday, the book will be available. And I want you guys to share this opportunity to other people to also join the group, to join this summit, and they will be blessed. I believe you guys have learned a lot. And I want to hear from 5 people so far what you have learned and how it has been a blessing to you, and how you believe that you are going to impact your generation from this information you have heard. Who wants to start to let me know? All right. Someone asked a question in the chat. The person said, but Father, wow, if my integrity is genuine and the circumstance I find myself in keep giving me pressure, should I keep being there? Okay, so what you need to understand yourself is that there is a path of journey. All right, who asked the question? BSK. There is a path of life journey, okay, where your life journey can make you find yourself in so many situations in life. Some of those situations are situations that will help you. Some of those situations are situations you are in because of the mistakes you did. Some of those situations are situations out of disobedience. Some of those situations are situations you should avoid and never have gotten into. And some of those situations are situations you must go into to become who you are supposed to become. You understand? So when you are in a certain situation, under a certain pressure that is weighing you down, you need to find out your purpose in that situation, in your calling and your assignment in that situation, and ask yourself, is it worth it going through this situation, this pressure? And if you realize that where you are going, you will need such situation to build momentum, to build capacity, to become a better person, then my advice is that endure the situation. And there are so many ways you can endure a situation. Some of them is to avoid certain things. Some of them is to know how to relate. Wisdom is speaking. You know, sometimes our talking can get us into a lot of trouble. You understand? I don't know the particular situation you are in, so I'm trying to generalize what I'm saying so it can fit where we are talking about. So if that particular situation is a situation that you think will help where you are going, then I will advise you to endure and look for ways where you can manage. You know, there are certain problems, God will not give you wisdom to eradicate it, but He'll give you wisdom to manage the problem. You get what I'm trying to say? So it depends on the situation, and if the situation will help where you are going. If the situation will not help where you are going, then you need to quickly take a decision and back out. You need to quickly take a decision and then channel your attention towards where you will be blessed or you will be very comfortable and do well. Okay, but if it is something that will help you, that will help your life, will help your assignment, it's best to endure because it's a season and that season will pass. Thank you. Hey, Japan, speak to me, sir.
Good evening to you all, everybody, and good evening, Dr. Father Abraham.
Good evening.
Please, I'm speaking from Ghana, Kumasi to be precise. Anger issue.
Okay.
From your teachings, I've discovered a lot because from the church I am now, I'm a student pastor there, and I have that feeling. Anytime there is something going wrong from the leaders, I feel so bad, and I get that energy. Like, why don't we remove them? Why don't we sack them? And like, if I have some authority, like I will sack some people.
Okay.
But I don't have those authorities. But from this, your teaching, I've discovered that means I've been called to that leadership.
Yeah.
But my problem is, they know that you have that capability. They know you have that wisdom, but they won't allow you. They will never allow you to operate in that office. They themselves know you can perform better.
Okay.
So I don't know, when you find yourself in that situation, what you are going to do. Because as I'm speaking now, let's say the resident pastor I'm with, now I've withdrawn myself from all church activities because whatever I do, he has a question on it, and I've decided not to participate in anything. And there is another branch who also is seeking for my help. So now that pastor is wants me to come to his branch to support.
Okay, so yeah.
So I must.
Okay. So there's a branch that wants you to come and help them, and you are confused. You don't know what to do, right? Okay, I think your network is not really stable. But concerning the question you asked, whatever is happening there, as a leader is not called to, sack people around. We all come from different backgrounds and cultures and all that. I've been in that position before, many years ago, where sometimes you feel like, why don't we sack the people and all that? But the truth of the matter is that sometimes you go somewhere to learn. Not necessarily you are the one supposed to put things order there, okay? But then it's a process. It's also a learning process for you at that moment to know how human beings behave. It's a process for you to know how people behave and how things are done in many places. You understand? Can you hear me?
Yes, Daddy, we can hear you loud and
Okay, you
clear.
can hear me. All right. So in such a situation, you need to understand that you may not necessarily be the one to correct those things there because you are not the leader there, but you are there to learn there so that when you get to a level where you are the leader and you have the authority, you will know how to relate with people. Now, a leader does not seek to sack people around him because the people are messing up or you think the people are not good, but you have been called to help the people to become better. So your assignment may not be to sack them, but to help those people to become better people, to change. That is the impact you need to make. For example, when I was in SS, I was the chaplain of my school, and there was a Muslim guy called Salim, and this guy was a Muslim, and I always drew him close to me, and I would be speaking to him about life. I wasn't forcing the gospel on him, but I noticed that every single thing I discussed with him, it was of ultimate importance to him. He wanted to know more, he wanted to hear more, and so sometimes he would just come to me, ask me certain questions, even without me trying to talk to him about the Bible, about God, but he started finding interest in whatever I would say. So it got to a time when I'm going to pray, I call him and he goes to pray with me. And he was a Muslim and he would go and pray the Muslim way, but he would still come. When I'm having service in school, he would come and join me and everything. To cut every long story short, my impact on this guy on campus made him, after school, after a few years of school, to convert to become a Christian. And I have never seen him after school. It was just a few days ago I heard that after school, after years, he became a Christian. He converted to become a Christian. Not only that, when he became a Christian, he changed his name and he started using my name. He started using my name. He changed his name to my name because, well, I had inspired him and I had impacted his life. So if he's changing from being a Muslim to become a Christian, there's no other name he wished to use than my name. You understand what I'm saying? So you are called to impact people's life in different ways. So the person may be a Muslim, maybe a bad person, a drunkard, a thief, something. But the question you need to ask yourself as a leader is that, so this person in his situation, what can I do to help him become a better person? You shouldn't be quick to condemn people. You shouldn't be quick to throw people away, to withdraw from people because you think you are better than them, or you think they have a certain lifestyle, they don't think like you and all that. No, your calling or your assignment or the mandate on your life is for you to influence. And sometimes you can start influencing people one after the other. You don't need to influence everybody at once. Sometimes you just need to sow one seed. Only one person, change one person or two people. Sometimes you're just called for only one person or just two people, not everybody in that particular area. So you can be in the church, do what you can do. But my advice to you is that don't do the work of God with your heart. Do the work of God from your heart. It's two different things. Don't do the work of God with your heart. With your heart means with your feelings, your emotions. So every little thing is like your word is standing upside down. No, don't do the work of God with your heart, with your emotions. Do it from your heart. Let it be out of service. If anything happens, you are okay with it. If they appreciate you, you are okay with it. Even if the pastor hates you. I remember I was serving under a senior pastor many years ago, and something happened in the church. All the church elders, I was one of the pastors. They all stood up against me, even the senior pastor, and they would have meeting, and I would just be smiling. I was not angry. They were expecting me to get angry and react, and they'll be like, "Oh, this is what we've been talking about." And back then, I had anger issue. But one way or the other, I was in a learning process, learning how to master it, how to, So I got to a place where instead of me getting angry, I was rather smiling, as if nothing is wrong. And they were so surprised how I handled the whole issue. That was why I was talking about there are tools of leadership that leads to what? Maturity. So humility, integrity, and other things will lead you to maturity. So when you are mature, you know how to handle issues even when you are angry. And sometimes when you are angry, you just need to be quiet, to be silent. I think I've answered you, right? So someone asked a question in the chat. All right, so the person said, Papa, how do you deal with childhood trauma as a leader in making? Childhood trauma, it's unfortunate, but you need to understand that when you become a leader or in the pursuit of leadership, when you discover who you are, you will discover that you are not who you used to be. when you become a leader or in the pursuit of leadership, when you discover who you are, your assignment, your purpose, you need to understand that you are no longer who you used to be. So anything that happened in your past, your childhood, you should start seeing yourself that you are not that person that thing happened to. You are not that person who experienced that. You need to let it go. Otherwise, it can affect your growth process. It can affect your mindset. It can affect your behavior, your character towards people. You begin to have bitterness. You cannot lead other people with bitterness. So you need to forgive yourself. Start seeing yourself for who God had created you to be, not who has been messed up. If someone messed you up, or you have been messed up, or you've seen certain things that messed you up, you need to start changing your way of thinking. You need to start telling yourself that I am not that child who experienced that. That memory may still be there, but you need to start seeing yourself differently. I don't know if I've answered yourself. Start seeing yourself differently, have a different mindset, and start pursuing who you are. When you discover who you are, you will not live like who you are not. Because sometimes the devil or people will tell you who you are not, but God will let you know who you are. So just live your life as who you are, not who you are not. Have you been answered? There's another question. Just want to thank you for the teaching, Father. I've learned tonight that brokenness isn't a weakness, but rather it's God's way of emptying you of yourself to fill you. This touches me a lot, watching and joining from Tamale, but a Liberian by national. God bless you so much. God bless you so much. God bless you. And I hope to see you again tomorrow and Wednesday and every other program that we organize. And so if anybody, you are interested in the book, on Wednesday evening, before or after our session, the book will be available for just $5. You convert it to your currency and then you pay, and then the ebook will be sent to you. Everything I'm teaching you is in the ebook, and everything I will be teaching you is in the book. It's a very powerful book. So I'll even share just the front cover of the book in the group. So you can check in the group for the how the book looks like, the front cover. You'll see it, and then by Wednesday you can have access to it. All right, Papa, you just lifted a load I have carried for years. Amen and amen. May the good Lord bless you and increase the oil on your life. Amen. Now I want to pray for everybody. If you're a pastor, if you're a politician, you're a businessman, family person, I want to pray for you that right now the mandate upon my life as God's servant, God's oracle, I bless your life in every aspect of your life. In your leadership journey, you will become one of the best leaders the world has ever experienced. You will become great in your business, in your career, in your ministry, every area of your life. May God bless you. May God increase you. May God make your life beautiful. You will never regret this journey, because God is about to make your life beautiful. And anything that is not moving your life, tonight I speak that it will begin to move in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. You will become a leader of change, a leader of impact, a leader who will make a difference, a leader people will look up to you, a leader who will make lives become better, a leader who will become the hope of your generation, that your children's children will thank you for impacting this generation. God bless you, God increase you, and cause his face to shine upon you in the name of Jesus. Amen and amen. So anybody who want to give something, let me just, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but tomorrow, let's do that tomorrow, okay? So those of you who want to give to support this organization, tomorrow make your offering or your donation ready. I'll put a number there you can give through it. God bless you. God increase you. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.